What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got an update, interesting update, shocking update, as the World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC, President Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members, are actually taking a stand for that green belt and the way that green belt is perceived. Okay, it's the most prestigious belt in all of the sport of boxing, and now they are taking a stand when it comes to whom is considered the face of the sport of boxing. 4 division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion and widely considered to be the face of the sport of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He is the undisputed super middleweight champion. He has a mandatory challenger in undefeated, 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, David the Mexican Monster Benavidez, who is 27 wins, no loss and no draw, 23 big wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age. He is 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. David Benavidez is the WBC interim champion, and he's the mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez. Now, I know many people is questioning, they wondering, how could David Benavidez be an undefeated and 2-time WBC super middleweight champion but not hold the belt? Well, that's because David Benavidez was stripped of his WBC title due to recreational use and entertainment outside the sport of boxing. I'm paraphrasing, and he was stripped of his WBC title. Then he regained it. He beat Anthony Durrell, regained his WBC title, regained his place in the sport of boxing. But then he was again stripped of his WBC title because David Benavidez, well, he missed weight during the global pandemic. He was one of the first fights back with no fans in the crowd, in an empty arena, and he lost his belt again. And immediately upon losing the belt, Canelo Alvarez decided to make this division his home. Now, prior to Canelo Alvarez making 168 his home, many people called to see a fight between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. People wanted to see this fight, okay? And Canelo Alvarez was reluctant to give us this fight. And he's still reluctant to give us this fight, as David Benavidez has worked his way back into the mandatory position. Canelo Alvarez immediately petitioned the WBC, his team, to allow him to fight, get this, Avni Yildirim, his sparring partner, for the vacant WBC title, which was denied. Then Canelo Alvarez petitioned again to fight for the vacant WBC title, this time against the WBA undefeated world champion British superstar boxer Callum Smith, which was approved. So he fought Callum Smith for the vacant WBC title at the same time fighting for Callum Smith's WBA title. He picked up the WBA title and WBC title, beating Callum Smith. Then he fought against the WBO super middleweight world champion British superstar boxer Billy Joe Saunders. He stopped Billy Joe Saunders and picked up his WBO title in a unification bout. Then he faced off against the man who was considered either the second best or the number 1 best fighter in his division, which was then undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. Now, Caleb Plant, interesting here, this is important to note that Caleb Plant and David Benavidez were considered the big fight, the 2 best fighters at 168 in their division before Canelo Alvarez made that his home. It was supposed to be a unification bout between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, but David Benavidez lost his title. Caleb Plant moved on, okay? But they were the 2 best fighters. Canelo Alvarez ended up fighting Caleb Plant for undisputed, stopped Caleb Plant in the 11th round, became the first 4 major sanction belt undisputed super middleweight world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. David Benavidez is on the outside looking in. David Benavidez petitioned to get his opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, to which that was met by Canelo Alvarez telling the world that David Benavidez has done, well, nothing in the sport of boxing, and he hasn't beaten anybody, and he really had no interest in fighting David Benavidez, along with saying he has no interest in fighting any more Mexican-born fighters. Right? Well, with that said, now the WBC has decided to take a stand. Canelo Alvarez is going into a major showdown next week, next Saturday, September 30th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, as he's going to take on three-time junior middleweight world champion, undisputed junior middleweight world champion, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and Jamel Ironman Charlo, who is 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'11.5" with a 73.5-inch arm reach. But the thing is, Jamel Charlo is jumping up from 154 to 168, 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo Alvarez. And so now, Canelo Alvarez is the favorite to win this fight against Jamel Charlo, right? Now, the thing here is that we have to note is that Jamel Charlo has been stripped of his undisputed status at junior middleweight because he, too, had a mandatory and an undefeated Australian star boxer, son of a legend, Tim Tszyu, who is the son of Costa Tszyu, who was his mandatory WBO challenger. So now, the night of the fight, after Jamel Charlo introduces the undisputed champion for the headline purposes and for storyline purposes, you have one undisputed champion versus another. He'll be immediately stripped of the WBO title, and Tim Tszyu will be elevated to the WBO super champion at 154. And now the WBC has decided to follow in their footsteps, and they have ordered Canelo Alvarez, should he be victorious, to fight David Benavidez finally. Now, other news has broken today that lets us know that David Benavidez is going to have a mega fight on his hands that he has to get past first, right? Which is November 24th, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. He's going to face undefeated 2-division world champion, superstar boxer, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Now, that's a 50-50 fight, and there's no guarantee that David Benavidez is going to be victorious in that fight. But if David Benavidez is somehow victorious in that fight against Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, David Benavidez has his opportunity that he's always been calling for, clamoring for, which is to face Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Now, he would have 2 marquee fights and 2 marquee wins at that point in time. He finally got the fight with Caleb Plant, and he beat Caleb Plant, and he would have gotten the fight with Demetrius Andrade. If he beats Demetrius Andrade, that's 2 marquee fights. The WBC has now stated that they are indeed going to strip Canelo Alvarez if he doesn't honor his mandatory challenge in David Benavidez next, should David Benavidez be victorious in his next fight. So David Benavidez beats Demetrius Andrade. He's going to be ordered, that Canelo Alvarez, finally to face the Mexican Ecuadorian superstar world champion boxer David Benavidez. Now, another thing that we have to note is important to note is that Canelo Alvarez has now signed a 3-fight deal with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder advisor Al Heyman, Showtime President Sports Steven Espinosa. So that should make the negotiations that much easier to make a fight with David Benavidez. At some point in time, it seemed like it was already on the table for Canelo Alvarez to fight David Benavidez at some point in time, and now it has been ordered. But what does this say for undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer, former undisputed junior welterweight, now reigning undisputed welterweight world champion, who's considered and acknowledged as the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford? Terrence Crawford is lobbying for an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez should Canelo Alvarez be victorious, because he wants to become undisputed in 3 separate weight classes. Well, what this tells you is you got to wait for the next video for that fight, for that information. But with that said, stylistically, I think that Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding the fight with David Benavidez because of the style matchup. David Benavidez has a high work rate. He's extremely tall, 6'2", with a 75-inch arm reach. fast hands, power in both hands, and very, very durable. That's the style that Canelo Alvarez at this stage in his career does not like. And now he's going to be forced to take the fight with David Benavidez. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Is the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members, actually going to stand firm on this and strip Canelo if he don't entertain this fight? Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But according to the reports now, they're saying that he will be stripped if he does not fight David Benavidez in his next fight. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.